What is going on, guys? Welcome once again to another Buy the Dips, Sell the Rips video. And today, the trenches are back. Is that what I'm hearing? Things are running to 100 mil and things are getting pretty crazy and heated up. But with that being said, what dips can we buy and what rips can we get? Let's dive right into it, guys. So, about 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I told you guys about Jotchua. We called it at 2.2 million, and now it's ran up all the way to 13 million. And I'm going to mention the coin again because I think it's not completely over. So you got in early when we posted the video. Yo, high five to you guys. Hopefully you guys held and you took profit. But right now, it's looking like it's coming down to a retracement, and that's what we want to see because I still think potentially we could get a nice little 2x from here from that retracement. So let's take a look at it. If you bought it when we mentioned it the first time, you're probably going to end up getting a 10x, and we're going to have to wait and see and find out. So I'm looking for this one, guys. I'm hoping it retraces back down here to this 8 mil. That's going to be ideally where we want to make sure we get the entry to see if we get another push to run up to that, 10, 15 mil area zone right there. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully that's able to kind of portray, but we want to make sure it comes down to that range of that 8 million range. That's where we're looking to enter. Right now it's like come down to 9, and we're hoping it comes down just a little bit more so we can snap it there at 8. Now I wouldn't be like, oh my goodness, FOMOing in right now at 9. I think anything below 9, like this area right here, 9 to that 8.8, almost 7 million range, that would be the ideal pocket if you're trying to get into this one. So once again, I think this one still runs, but you want to make sure you get it like around that, between 9 and 7. That would be like the best spot right there. But if you're in early, hopefully this gives us a nice little 10x. All right, so the next coin I want to talk to you guys about is called Solangeles. Now, this is a coin that has been holding pretty steady. It's gone up, gone down, and now it's looking like it's in range. Right now, we're in a little bit of a bleed zone, and that's kind of what we're looking for because we kind of want to make sure it comes down to this particular range here of this 3.5. I would say 3.5 in that 4.5 range. That's where we're gonna be looking to get a snap here. Hopefully, it does come down here. It doesn't trickle down any further. But that's kind of like the buy zone that we're looking for. Ideally, we would love it to come to that 2.9 where it hits that 3 mil. I don't think it will. I think we're going to see a kind of like a touch tap of that 4 mil. And then we'll kind of see it consolidate here again, just like I did the first time. So this could potentially give us another nice little 2x here if we play this correctly. So hopefully this is another one that we're keeping an eye on. The next one we're looking at, guys, is Kings. And this one we mentioned at 2 million. And it ran up all the way to 21 mil. So that was a beautiful 10x for us. But right now, this is like the main runner when it comes to the game meta. As you guys know, there has been different swings of metas. We had kind of like a 2-week span of gaming meta. Then we got a brand new meta this weekend. So a lot of crazy stuff happening in the trenches. That's why you got to stay up to date of everything that's happening. You want to stay up to date to everything that's happening. Bolts Alpha is where it's at. Link is down below. And you get access to amazing information and just get the trends before they happen, right? So Kings is another one that's really interesting to us. So what we want to see here, though, is we want to get an ideal entry for this one. I think if it comes down to this 9 million range, okay, so this 9.5 range, that looks like a really good snap. If it were to not come down at anything, I would say like a 10. 10 would be like this 10 range would here. I mean, 11.5 would be the range, but I think it comes down to 10. That's where we want to see it, kind of like 10.5. That's where I'll take a stab at it because maybe we get another push here to this 20 to 30. So that might give us a nice little 2 to 3x. But that's the range I'm looking to actually snap this one on here. Ideally, I would love for this one to come down to 10. Even though we already hit a 10x, I think that 10 which should give us a nice little push for a nice little 2x here. The next one, which I think is the second best game currently right now within the trenches, is Frag. As you guys know, we call this at 40K. It ran up almost to 2 million, so it ran up to 1.8. So really, really good access on this one. But right now, it's kind of back bottom to where it kind of got the push from that 6 to that 1.6. I think right now it's kind of like in that state, whether it hangs in here, if the dev keeps deving, if people keep posting about it, if things get pretty good, and we get a little bit of shift back from the current meta that's right now coming back into the gaming meta, I think this will get another push up and a nice little run up. I think a lot of people still believe in this one. So really at the point of this coin where it's like it's either going to go back up and going to get a little bit more momentum, or it's just going to kind of fade away. So that's where we want to keep a look at here. So I think it's a pretty good buy in the sense of the amount of X's you could probably get here. So we're looking for like maybe a 2 to 3x here on it again. The next one we have is called RTM, which is a nice return to means. And this one in particular, guys, already had a big push right up to here, ran up all the way to 3 million. Pretty crazy stuff. But right now it's kind of like in the retracement. It's kind of just bleeding out a little bit, bleeding out. We're looking for this 1.5 mil range. That's what we're looking for. I don't think it might not come down to this 1.5, but there's a possibility if it does. If this one's going to actually stay strong and hold the fort, then we're looking at this 1.5 to this 1.8 range, and then it should get a nice little bounce. That's what we're expecting out of this one, and hopefully hits those ranges, potential another 2x to 80%. The next one we have is 3, and this is actually a pretty big meme. And the thing with this one is actually this one kind of came down a lot, and it's just been bleeding out a little bit here. But hopefully it's able to bounce back. At 2.5, this is kind of like the zone where you would want to test this out and see what happens. But ideally, it might come down to 2 mil. Okay, so we're kind of looking at that range. So anything between 2.5 and 2 mil, I think that would be like a nice, beautiful range for this one. And it gets another bounce and it tests the all-time high. That's what we're expecting for this one, is to see what happens and how that plays out. The next one we have is cards, which is one of my favorite ones. I've been telling you guys about this thing for like ever since 2 million. Told you guys about it again at 4. Told you guys about it again at 7. And that's before it ran up all the way to 80. And then when it came back down and hit this 8 mil range, I told you guys about it, and it kind of just ran up to 80 again. So that's another 10x from this one. But now it's kind of coming back down just because the few of the meta shift. I think potentially we see 45 here. So 45 to a run up to 100. That would be a nice potential 2x for you guys right there. But let's see what happens. Let's see if it does, if it breaks out of the 60-50 range. I doubt it, but I think it could possibly happen. So this one that you might want to pay attention to. All right, so the next two I'm going to mention, these are a little bit riskier. One is a newer coin, and the other one's potentially could get a run up. So let's take a look at it. So this one's called Spurdo. Okay, so this right now, it had a nice little run up. It's at 650. Not a bad range to get a stab in here at 650, but ideally, I think we might see it come down to 380, like 380, 350. That's ideally where I kind of want to see where I probably position myself in there. And kind of anything below 450, I think would be nice here. Nice little grab on this one. So I wouldn't buy right now. I would wait for it to come down and get that little entry there. The next one is already had a run up, which is called World. And this one went from like 600 down here all the way up to almost 5 million. It came back down and bled out to 1.5. So ideally, this is the zone that you're looking to get into. Okay, so this 1.2. If it does come to this 1.2, it's not bad just to test it out, see what happens. Because this is a pretty interesting meme coin. And I think ideally it could still have another run up. I just want to make sure if we're gonna get an entry, we want to get something like at 1.2, where we could potentially run it up to a 2x to a 3x. So let's see what happens with that. And those are the coins for this week. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are picking up, and hopefully we're able to land another 10x here inside the Bolts Alpha. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get early access to 10x's, 5x's, Bolts Alpha is where to go. Link is down below. And we'll stream every Tuesday and Thursday so we can get some 10x's live on stream. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.